The Mojave Wasteland in Fallout New Vegas provides a plentiful variety of armaments that Courier 6 has at their disposal, but only one of them plays a cool theme song when you pull it out of your cowboy holster. That's why I want to answer the question, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only the Mysterious Magnum? Now, the Mysterious Magnum is a .44 caliber revolver that can only be found on an NPC known as the Lonesome Drifter. It has unique textures and better damage than a .44 Magnum, but all of that is irrelevant. It has a theme song when you pull it out of your holster. Now, due to the nature of this run, I will attempt to acquire the Magnum as quickly as possible, while being a total pacifist beforehand. Spoiler alert, I done fucked up. Keep your eyes peeled for my tag skills as I build my career. Aptly named Mysterious Mike, as his equally mysterious moustache, so called because he haven't washed in so long that the things living inside of his moustache are a mystery, both to us and to science. I focused my special skills on luck and agility, as well as having 6 points in strength due to the revolver's special requirement. Charisma is useless in Fallout New Vegas, so I drained that. I took guns, medicine and sneak as my tag skills. Spoiler alert again, remember this for later. I didn't want to rely on the stupid overpowered speech skill, as it would make the whole run pointless. Another regret I have is choosing Built to Destroy and Trigger Discipline as my traits. I really felt like the extra weapon condition decay, as the run went on, was really detrimental, and I was too lazy to repair it. Likewise, in some sticky situations, Trigger Discipline proved to be a right pain in the arse. I wanted to let loose and fan the hammer on me big iron, but couldn't. In short, I set myself up for failure, before I'd even started. With that all in mind, I stole everything from Doc Mitchell, spoke to some creepy robot stalker, stole everything I could from Chet and sold it back to him for big stonks, along with the DLC items. If you disagree with me, from profiting with the DLC items, there's a dislike button with your name on it, and head out into the wasteland. After being violated, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, by some giant scorpions below the Good Springs Cemetery as a punishment for attempting to follow my waypoint directly to the Drifter, I decided to take the long road out of town instead. I discovered Prim and then sped off towards Nipton and the Mojave Outpost. I attempted to recreate the London Marathon in Fallout in this pacifist segment of the video, as seen by me hot-footing it away from an angry melee person, who I can only assume wanted to have their way with my thick, luscious, biologically impossible moustache. One aspect of this pacifist section which is really annoying is that this is the only Fallout New Vegas playthrough I have attempted in which I have not brutally killed that annoying bastard Oliver Swanwick. I spoke to Vulpes and was on my way. On the road once more, I got lucky passing by Ranger Station Charlie. A Legion patrol was in the area at the same time as 3 NCR troopers. In the battle that followed, like the giant pussy I am, I stayed well out of the way until the Legion beat the shit out of the two-headed bear and stole one of their uniforms to use the monorail to get to the New Vegas Strip. This is the only time I used forward thinking in this run. I also spoke to that creepy robo-stalker again, at Novak, so he wouldn't have the satisfaction of surprising me in Vegas after speaking to the homeless man I was looking for, and being disappointed when I could not lure a raiding party to his billboard to assault him for me. I found that I was unable to pickpocket the Magnum from him. Maybe I misread the Fallout wiki. Maybe the wiki was lying. Maybe I messed up. Who knows? This is the point at first at which I want you to remember my tag skills, and how I mentioned earlier that I messed up. This will become abundantly clear in a moment. I made it practically unharmed, minus being attacked by the local ketamine users in the Vegas area, to Camp McCarran and use my NCR uniform to board the monorail and enter the New Vegas Strip. From there, I made a beeline for the Tops Hotel and Casino, but not to progress the main quest line, as most players do when they enter the casino. I instead went to the theatre and spoke to Tommy Torini. He will give you a quest to recruit 4 new acts for the theatre, one of whom can be the Lonesome Drifter, who carries a guitar with him. If you have enough barter skill, you can convince him to give you his Mysterious Magnum in exchange for you offering him the job. If you have enough barter skill. This is foreshadowing. Now, here's the kicker. As I'm new to recording videos, as evidenced by my awful awkward commentary voice, poorly adjusted microphone levels, and minimal editing software, I fucked up again when recording the part where I failed the run. I did not have enough barter skill points to convince the arsehole homeless drifter to give me his weapon. He was talking mad shit for someone within shooting distance, and he forfeited his existence, as well as his firearm, the moment I made the executive decision to fail the challenge instead of loading back to Doc Mitchell's house in Goodsprings. Remember people, time is money, and I have very little of either. I was tempted to return to the town of Goodsprings to see if I could perform the Ghost Town Gunfight quest glitch, in which I can repeatedly bully Chet at the general store for his ammo, XP, and lunch money. Maybe the game felt bad for him after I stole all of his stuff and forced him to pay me to give it back to him, because he nor none of the townsfolk in Goodsprings were there. Maybe this was a glitch, maybe not. Who knows? Nothing in this run went really well, to be honest. Instead, I went to the Mojave outpost and spread word of epic war crimes committed by fake Romans in Nipton, for some easy experience. As you might imagine, being like level 3 when entering into the meat of the questline isn't a recipe for success, but that's a small price to pay for attempting a run I had sabotaged for myself from the very outset. I returned instead to the Tops Casino, and after many failed attempts, I took out the rather square-headed Benny and all of the degenerate relics of the past in the casino. I stole the platinum chip from whichever orifice Benny decided to stuff it in. No man talks the way he does without being in serious discomfort, so place your bets, folks. Gambling is totally cool and financially responsible, so I did some of that in the Ultralux casino until I had enough money to buy loads of 44 Magnum rounds from the gun runners, and later some armour. Some bald guy with a silly name called me a nasty word, so I did the only rational thing one would do in this situation and stole his dream journal, and after a bit of time getting lost inside Gomorrah, I convinced him to help me lay the bosses of the Emerters on the pathologist's slab. Despite my amateurish mistake of losing some footage, I can confirm I will be siding with the NCR in this run, simply because I don't think I ever have before in New Vegas. After deciding that Mr. House had a silly name, he had to go. I couldn't be bothered to deal with the whole King's side quest, so instead I did what any rational man in my situation would do, commit homicide. A side note, I also employed this scorched earth tactic on the Great Khans and the Boomers. After I made sure that Pacer wouldn't be pacing anymore, I murdered the King and his dog. Don't feel bad. Judging by the state of him, a 44 hollow point round to the robo noggin was more humane than forcing him to live in a slum surrounded by Elvis impersonated. This didn't please Ambassador Cockface, or whatever his name is, but he's irrelevant now, as I was sent to Hoover Dam for more important assignments. Like the murdering of the Khans, for example. Oh, another side note. By murdering the King, Freeside decided to shun me. Mick and Ralph refused to do business with me, and they are one of the few vendors in the game that will sell 44 Magnum rounds. I stopped their little documentary forgery business for good. This will come back to haunt me. I casually stopped an assassination attempt, and an NTR sniper had a little bit too much fun dismembering the corpse of a Legion assassin. General Oliver hurt my feelings and then immediately played the role of Schrodinger's arsehole by being nice to me when he found out his silly little dam was being overrun by legionaries in funny hats. I wasted far too much of my ammo and my time getting through the dam and to the legate in his camp, even though I probably could have just run past him. My speech skill was so woefully low that the dead NCR assassins the legate just murdered in front of me would have had more chance of taking him down. Here's where all the issues that already failed this run have come to a head. I was still a pitiful level 10 or 11 when approaching the legate. I had only a handful of bullets to my name, and did not have the foresight to make a save before committing to the endgame. Plus, as already you can see from this gameplay, I'm not very good at the game. Or most games, come to think of it. After getting simultaneously whipped and nay-nayed an upsetting number of times by the legate and his soldiers, I threw in the towel. You can beat Fallout New Vegas with only Mysterious Magnum, but only if you have more foresight than I did. And on that note, it's time for me to wrap up this disappointment of a video. It's my first video on this channel and my first foray into any form of video editing, albeit on basic software, so any feedback is much appreciated. If you enjoy this video, and God knows why you would have, leave a like. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Beans and have a wonderful day.